All right, welcome back to Reflections, everyone, where we talk about all things Church of Christ with the Elijah Message. It is wonderful to be back with you, spending this time together. So there's another interesting idea in our faith called the first resurrection, or sometimes referred to as the resurrection of the just. And this will be the people and Jesus' second coming during the millennial reign, the people who are going to inherit celestial, terrestrial glory. So let's go to the record of the Nephites. Let's go to the book of Mosiah, chapter 15. This is Abinadi speaking. Pick up in verse 20. But behold, the bands of death shall be broken, and the Son reigneth, and hath power over the dead. Therefore he bringeth to pass the resurrection of the dead. And there cometh a resurrection, even a first resurrection. Yea, even a resurrection of those that have been, and which are, and which shall be, even until the resurrection of Christ. For so shall he be called. And now the resurrection of all the prophets, and all those that have believed in their words, or all those that have kept the commandments of God. These shall come forth in the first resurrection. Therefore they are the first resurrection. So these are all the people before Jesus came who believed in the prophets and the law of Moses. They are raised to dwell with God who hath redeemed them. Thus they have eternal life through Christ, who hath broken the bands of death. And they are those who have part in the first resurrection. And these are they that have died before Christ came, in their ignorance, not having salvation declared unto them. And thus the Lord bringeth about the restoration of these. And they have a part in the first resurrection, or have eternal life, being redeemed by the Lord. And little children also hath life eternal. But behold, and fear, and tremble before God. For ye had ought to tremble, for the Lord redeemeth none such that rebelleth against him, and dieth in their sins. Yea, even all those that have perished in their sins ever since the world began, that have willfully rebelled against God, that they have known the commandments of God, and would not keep them. These are they that have no part in the first resurrection. Therefore had ye ought to tremble, for salvation cometh to none such. For the Lord hath redeemed none such. Yea, neither can the Lord redeem such, for he cannot deny himself, for he cannot deny justice when it hath its claim. And that's an interesting idea, the justice of God and its relationship to the agency of man, the ability to choose. You have the ability to choose Jesus, to choose God or reject. So you were judged accordingly, and it's fair. Let's go to the book of Alma, chapter 40. This is Alma speaking. I'm going to pick up here in verse 11. Now concerning the state of the soul between death and the resurrection. Behold, it hath been made known unto me by an angel, that the spirits of all men, as soon as they are departed from this mortal body, yea, the spirits of all men, whether they be good or evil, are taken home to that God who gave them life. That's an interesting passage. And it's interesting because it's really close to what we find in the Eastern Orthodox Church. This idea that when you die, everybody goes to the presence of God. And the difference between heaven and hell is the experience of being in the presence of God. Whether or not you have opened up yourself, your life, to the glory of God. And so when you're in the presence, you experience the glory that you've opened yourself up to. But if you have closed yourself off from the glory of God, closed your life off from the glory of God, then when you stand before God, you don't participate in the glory. You don't participate in all the things that is God. Love, mercy, kindness, compassion, glory, beauty. Verse 12. And then shall it come to pass that the spirits of those which are righteous are received in a state of happiness, which is called paradise, a state of rest, a state of peace, where they shall rest from all their troubles and from all care and sorrow. And then shall it come to pass that the spirits of the wicked, yea, which are evil, for behold, they have no part nor portion of the Spirit of the Lord. For behold, they chose evil works rather than good. Therefore the spirit of the devil did enter into them, and take possession of their house. And these shall be cast into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And this because of their own iniquity, being led captive by the will of the devil. And outer darkness is the place where Satan and demons and the sons of perdition will dwell. They will dwell in what we would call hell, completely apart and closed off from the glory of God. Now this is the state of the souls of the wicked, yea, in darkness, in a state of awful, fearful looking for of the fiery indignation of the wrath of God upon them. Thus they remain in this state, as well as the righteous in paradise, until the time of their resurrection. And so those who are resurrected in celestial and telestial glory are resurrected in the millennium. And those that will inherit telestial or outer darkness are resurrected after the millennium, after the final judgment. It's an interesting idea. My brothers and sisters, it's been wonderful spending this time with you, thinking about these things, reflecting on them. And until next time, I invite you into the Elijah Message House.